Hey guys, A&A here. Silver Bullet at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California is one of the most underrated inverted coasters. It is intense, floaty, and has an amazing setting, but some people say it's forceless or not whippy enough. But I'd say that's just preference. To start, the $16 million Ball in Mabillard inverted coaster was built over only existing pathways in the central lake. It replaced only a few buildings and pathways. It is absolutely stunning how B&M fit it so perfectly into a park as landlocked as Knott's. Silver Bullet also has a prominent dominance over the park's skyline and creates one of the best entry experiences of any park. It also flies over pathways and buildings and even past some amphitheaters, giving great views on ride and creates unmatched energies on the midways in Ghost Town. Silver Bullet's queue is just to see a switchbacks and a staircase, but that's okay because it doesn't need theming to be a great experience. If Silver Bullet has a long line, which is pretty much guaranteed if you visit from spring to January, it can feel very cramped and crowded, so watch out for that. If you need to, you can spring for the fast lane, but this is the fastest moving line in the park, so you won't need it. If you're wondering, the ride ops have granted seating requests for all my rides. If you want the front though, you might have to wait a train or two. The back is the better seat anyways, so if you can only ride once, go to the back. The visuals are amazing in the front though, so if you have time for multiple rides, go for the front. When you board, you will find yourself in the familiar B&M Invert trains. They are the ones with the hard over-the-shoulder restraints, but with B&M's impeccable track design and smoothness, headbanging is minimal. There is a redundant seatbelt, but it does not affect the ride experience. After you dispatch, you take a right turn into the 149-foot tall or 45-meter tall lift hill. Cresting the top, you get an amazing view of Buena Park and the Fiesta Village. You then twist right into the 109-foot or 33-meter drop. Now, I will agree that this drop is pretty pathetic. Honestly, the lift hill is probably more steep than the drop, though it was built that way because it was built right over Jaguar and the lagoon. As you traverse the first drop, you slowly accelerate and feel the air power blast you more and more until you abruptly pull into the first of 6 inversions of vertical loop. This loop is pretty average. It does pull around 3.9 Gs at the valleys of the loop though, so it is pretty intense. You then traverse this weird overbank turn that, even after 27 rides, still throws me off. It actually gives a little float, pulling a near perfect 0 Gs for around 1.5 seconds. You then hit your max speed of 55 miles per hour or 88 kilometers per hour at the base of the cobra roll. You also pull 4.1 Gs, which is surprisingly not the most intense part of the ride. The cobra roll is not snappy nor floaty, but it makes up for it in visuals. You fly above the front entrance and see all the people watching on the midway. You then drop down into the off-ride photo and get flashbanged if you're riding at night. The next element is the highlight of the ride, a 0 G roll. This roll seems to last forever, and it pulls 0.2 Gs for a solid 2 seconds, making it delightfully floaty. You will be out of your seat the whole time. It lasts longer because you roll around 420 degrees instead of 360 as you turn left into a 270 degree helix to set you up for the finale. This turn is mildly forceful, pulling 3 at the base and morphing into around 2 Gs for the rest of the helix. It does redeem itself in 2 ways though. It has great visuals flying over the pathways, and it follows up with the most intense part of the ride. When you pull into the first corkscrew, you pull a whopping 4.6 Gs in the back row and 4.4 Gs in the front. The powerful Gs continue into the corkscrew as you violently whip through it. You then traverse a funky outer bank hump that will have you floating out of your seat, pulling 0 Gs. For reference, the total amount of time spent under 0.5 Gs during the ride is 3.5 seconds out of the 54 seconds of prime ride time. But the entire ride up to this point has been a warm-up for the insane finale. You pull into another corkscrew that is just as intense as the first and is somehow even more whippy. You then swoop over the lagoon into a 720 degree helix that sustains 3.5 Gs for nearly 7 seconds. That's absolutely insane. This is a near grayout for me, but for most I would expect a grayout, as I myself seem more resilient to grayouts. Just for reference, the total amount of time you spend above 2 Gs in the 54 seconds of ride time is 23.2 seconds. You then coast into the brake run and are thrusted forward from the quick deceleration, entering the 3,125 feet or 952.5 meters of track. You then exit the ride platform and exit down the stairs, feeling a bit dizzy and a slight tingling sensation in your feet from the blood rushing down there after the insane finale. In conclusion, Silver Bullet is an incredibly unique and underrated B&M invert with great forces, a great setting, and decent operations. It seems to consistently run 2 trains. I really think enthusiasts give this invert too much flack, and it deserves a little more appreciation for its setting and intensity. It also is an amazing night ride. So if you enjoyed, I would appreciate a like or even a sub, that'd be pretty cool. And thanks for making it all the way through the video, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.